Man, I hate that we're picking up like a topic in the middle of it. To start part two. Yeah, this is part two of episode 172. I'm probably just gonna run it like the next day. And that just knocks out my two podcast requirement from the week. Because I'm contracted to do two podcasts like to myself. Shout out to Buck Equal Rights Media. I am founder, owner, CEO, COO,
Just say
everything.
CEO. You're the CEO of that.
We ballin', big baby.
It's so funny when I press like these drops because she can't hear them.
I can't hear anything.
She doesn't have headphones. We gotta get her some headphones, maybe.
Maybe. I don't think I need them.
Nah, some of these drops might actually be about her.
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking. You know what?
Okay,
That's
anyways.
just like this funny drop I should play right now. Like, nope.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
And that's a joke because she doesn't even know what the hell the drop is
I
saying.
don't know what's going on.
But no, so let's pick back up. We were talking about Russell Wilson being a cornball brother. And I don't think, because we took like such a long ass break, I don't think you really got into your feelings on Russell Wilson like as a woman. Because like as a man, I think this, but as a woman, we have to get a different perspective. So like from the woman, and I'm gonna say like let's say the casual, right? The casual like observer of Russell Wilson. Like what type of does he not come off as a cornball ass brother to you?
I wouldn't say cornball, but he's definitely like a gentleman. But I'm also different from most women, so my cornball to your cornball is completely different.
So do you like corny balls? So what's your cornball?
My cornball is more so like because I'm not really like in the dating field, I'm like the more so like the teacher's pet, right? Like the one that tries to make it seem like, nah, I'm a goody goody and I know everything, like the know it all, the goody goody. To me, that's like a cornball. I don't follow sports. I don't know like what he does off the field to know like if that's who he is, because if that's who he is, then yeah, he's a cornball. But I don't know. From what I've seen, like from the Sierra point of view, the woman point of view, like he's a gentleman. He's actually been like real. Like he's showed her a whole lifestyle that she's not been used to, and it's something that like actually works for her, and especially because she has a son, like something that works for them. That's like healthy, that works for them.
But maybe she should stop dating rappers like Little Bow Wow and Future, and maybe Russell provides that stability in a guy that she wanted. But
Yeah.
did we hit the type part? Having a type.
No. No.
So yeah. So like Shannon was talking about like women having a type,
Yes.
and then you have the type that is Future, and the type that's Russell, and obviously those are two different types of guys. And if somebody told you they dated both of them, you'd be like, are you confused out here? Like, do you not know what your type is? Like, what are you doing here?
Mm-mm.
Right? Like it makes me think that it's almost like a trauma based decision, right? Like you go from oh my gosh because this guy put me through this. Oh my god, Future, the Toxic King, all of this stuff, drinking lean, popping pills,
Mhm.
making all this music, talking about
Right.
women and objectifying women.
Mhm.
Um, that maybe she just went for a guy like Russ, a guy that's more elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
Because she was scorned by the relationship that's Future. And if you look at how it played out in the press, like This is some nasty shit going on in that relationship as far as like lawsuits and stuff getting involved and stuff like that. So again, I'm a man and that's how I process, you know what I'm saying, Team Future over here.
Yeah, you're very Team Future.
I'm a Future fan's a good rapper.
Uh-huh.
Mic to the mouth, please.
Right, but Future's good rapper based on like words, right? That he uses and what he's saying, like the context.
No,
Because you're not just sitting here basing it off of like his rhythm, like his cadence of like, no, you're like basing it off of his words.
Ish. I mean, I'm more.
So you like that toxic masculinity?
Not necessarily. So, and I had a conversation about this with the Future thing, right?
Mhm.
Because we were talking about Future, and people were trying to say, "Oh, so Russell's corny, but Future's cool." I'm like, no, I don't really think Future's cool. Like, like I like his music. I really like his music, but in a Joe Butt Nicki Minaj interview, Nicki talked about how, you know, they're role models, and how Future even talked about with her, he raps about, you know, drinking lean and all this stuff, but he doesn't necessarily consume drugs at the rate that we think based upon his music. And that's corny to me, because you got people who are actually listening to that music who are going through things and are like looking to consume lean or consume Xans, consume all these different narcotics in order to make themselves feel better. And you are painting that as a picture, that actually like makes you feel better, and it doesn't. So why the hell would you like put that out there just to make money? Again, it's your right to do what you want because it's your free speech, and consumers should be smart enough to know that, hey, this is entertainment, but at the same time, when you know you have that much power and people take you at your word, even though like you know you're full of shit and people around you know you're full of shit, and you continue to do it and perpetuate these negative stereotypes, I think that's fucking corny too.
But I think that's what hip hop quotation marks is what it's about right now, right?
That's what it's always been about. Niggas lying in their raps. It's not new.
To a sense,
it's nothing new.
Back in the 80s and 90s, they were actually talking about like what they lived, what they grew up as a kid, whether that's like what they did as an adult when they were rapping it, they were still talking about what they saw and lived as they were kids, right?
Some did, yeah.
Right. So the fact that most of these men nowadays, from what I know about these rappers, I won't even talk about men because there's a lot of women that like rap about some shit where I'm like, bro, I know you didn't deal with that shit. Like, stop. Like, it's just a part of the trend to be like in it.
But what's the difference between a fictional rapper, a fictional musician, or a fictional artist? Like, or a fictional author? Like, remember, Beyonce said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it, while she was still with Jay-Z and he hadn't put a ring on it yet.
Yeah, no, I don't know. To me, as like a consumer of all this shit, like I read about like their past, I read about their present to be like, all right, like they're not sitting here acting as if it's like some other shit where like who were we talking about?
We're talking about Russell Wilson and Future.
No, where Future was over here like acting as if he had like all these bitches up the ass, which maybe he did. But at the same time he had Sierra. So you're what are you playing with?
I mean,
like, do you have both?
Probably. I don't want to get in here and speak about who somebody's involved with outside of what we actually know.
Know anything though.
I don't, but when he speaks about some of his relationships with women, like Future's music didn't go to like just toxic Future that people love really until after the Sierra relationship, which is where like it sounds like that relationship ended, his heart got broken, and he's searching for something, and he's searching for that through quantity instead of quality. Again, that's what the music tells me. I'm not speaking to what he's actually going through, because when he has a song, Valentine's Day is the worst day, I got too many to please, like because you've created this space where you have all of these different people.
All these opportunities, right?
Yeah, like on certain days, that check comes due and you got to pay the piper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't live that life, but I feel like it's easier to entertain multiple women away from birthdays and holidays because you can just do different routine stuff where you're spending a certain amount of time with them. But especially if y'all aren't living together, like you can like come here this day, come here that day. Like, hey, can I come over? No, I'm busy right now. I gotta do this. Especially with him, he's a rapper. Oh, I'm in the studio. I'm at here. I got a show here. I got that. Whoop de whoop.
Right.
And but it becomes different when it's Valentine's Day because you're gonna be with somebody. Who is it gonna be? And how do you work that in a way that you don't fuck up your options if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to keep them? You know what I mean? So again, I want to take it off of like Future and his women because that's like totally irrelevant to me in the life that I live because I don't fucking know, nor do I care. But like to bring it back to Russell Wilson, what I wanted to say is just like maybe Sierra made that move towards Russell because it was the polar opposite, and she had experienced what she'd gone through. And I mean, she dated Reggie Bush, she dated Bow Wow, she dated Future, she dated guys who may have been more into the limelight, more into multiple women. Because if you look at what Bow Wow said, like Bow Wow pretty much said he ain't gonna be with one woman, like he's not doing that. And now she found somebody who's gonna make a good, honest woman out of her. And again, people be acting like Sierra's fucking blameless and all this stuff. She's not.
No, I don't think anyone is.
No, not at all.
No.
I'm just not one to point fingers, and I think so often because Future puts out music that can make him the easy bad guy. That we just point
a little extra with this shit.
Right, that we point every finger at Future for being the reason why the relationship didn't work, but there's things that we don't know about. But that also goes back to people thinking that, yo, hey, fans, you don't know what goes on in the lives of your favorite celebrities. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know none of this shit. Like, everybody has strong opinions on Kim and Kanye, but we don't really know what's going on there. Like, we don't know what Kim was doing to Kanye to push him to that. We don't know what Kanye was doing to push Kim to ski. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know none of that shit. So to come out here and think that you have a strong, definitive opinion on someone else's relationship life, it's fucking nuts. Like, I wish one of y'all would tell me why my relationship is where it's at, like for the good or for the bad. Like, man, like kiss my ass. You ain't here.
First of all, it don't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, where they like think that this shit matters to the point where like a lot of influencers and shit be like making these fucking videos of it. Like, your opinion does not matter. You think you're an influencer, you think you're this like media person, but at the end of the day, like nobody gives a fuck.
But the problem is, the problem is, Sensation, my sensation, that people do give a fuck. People like not
There's
people
a small percentage, to the point where they think
but
give a fuck.
But no, enough people to where they can monetize these conversations, they can monetize these posts, they can monetize these bullshit articles. It feeds their ego, right? Like I talk about this a lot. One of the problems with social media, especially Twitter, is it gives everyone a voice and thinks that their voice matters. Does everybody have a voice in this world? Yes. But does everybody's voice actually matter? No. Sometimes people say dumb shit, and then you need to be told, hey, that's some dumbass shit. But what happens is you get on social media and you say some dumb shit, and it's put out there for a bunch of dumbass people, and those dumbass people can take that and they can all get behind it, and then it's just a bunch of dumbasses telling each other a bunch of dumbass shit and telling each other how smart they are with their dumbasses. And that's what I get with the blogs, man. And like, I'm about to start a blog. I ain't put this out there, but I'm about to start back writing because I just read so much bullshit. I just go, how did you get this from that? And what made you think that this was worthwhile content? again, because it gets clicks. Okay. Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yeah. But if like I pull my dick out, it gets clicks. But is that actually valuable content that's going to add anything to a legitimate conversation? No, it's probably going to get me in trouble with my day job. It's definitely going to get me in trouble with my woman and going to get me in trouble with my family. Like, hey, yo, bro, what are you doing? Like, you just pulling your dick out on fucking internet? Like, no. So I think that as consumers, we got to become better consumers. We got to stop giving cheap content creators the credit for giving us bullshit content. Like we have to hold these forums to a higher standard, right? And the hard part about that is that so many of us care about what we care about, that we're not experts in many things. So that because of that, we go different places to get like the fucking cliff notes, and they take advantage of the fact that we're casual, and they pick out some bullshit ass cliff notes that if we actually did a book report, we would fail that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what it turns down to. Like a lot of these blogs are just bad book reports. And that's what we end up with, man. Dang, I didn't think we was gonna go down this rabbit hole. But look, man, I'm gonna transition into the insurrection correction. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more political because I like to talk politics. And part of me talking politics is that, yeah. So part of me talking politics is I feel like a lot of people don't talk politics in a way that people who don't consume politics can talk, right? Like my sensation. My sensation. I like that. I'm gonna use that later tonight. Do you relate to political people speaking about politics in a way that a non-political person can't like properly consume it?
A non-political person? No,
I
I don't.
said you don't relate to that. I'm asking, do you relate to people like non-political people, political people speaking about politics in a way that a
Mhm.
non-political person will understand?
No, because even the video that I saw earlier, I was like trying to make sense of it, and that's
Yeah,
a political person.
So you relate to that. You relate to political people speaking. You relate to political people speaking to non-political people in a way that they do not understand. Not that they do understand.
Not yes, sorry. Yes,
Yeah, I
not,
figured you missed that.
sorry.
Nah, yeah, it's all good.
Sorry.
But yeah, nah, like we're watching that
No,
video.
I don't.
We're watching that video, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what, like, why the fuck they even?
It
throw
was
this-
like a 6-minute video, and I like thought it was a 30-minute video because I was trying so hard to concentrate on like the words and figuring out what the history of
right,
it
and,
was.
and you missed the gist of it, even though like once we talked about it, like, oh no, I got what the fuck.
Yeah, it made total sense, but I like thought I missed it because there's just a lot of like words, like there's a lot of verbiage that just does not make sense.
Loaded is it's done on purpose, man. It's loaded language.
Yeah.
That again, people who are politically savvy, people who study politics, they fucking get it. Hey, I got a political science degree, so like
even the Kamala Harris thing that I was confused about, right?
Yeah,
I was catching on to it until then.
Right. So let's bring it full picture. So we're talking
Mhm.
about we're watching a video because I was trying to get her spun up on this thing going on with Clarence Thomas and his wife. I think her name's like Guinea Thomas or something.
Yeah,
like
Guinea
that.
Thomas. Yep.
Guinea Thomas, yeah.
Guinea.
Yeah, Guinea Pig Thomas.
Uh-huh.
So she was involved in the January 6th insurrection, you know, let's storm the Capitol, okay? And she was somebody who had direct access to the president and the president's chief of staff because of her political activity as an activist, but also because she's Clarence Thomas's wife, who is a justice on the Supreme Court, and he is actually the senior most conservative justice on the Supreme Court. that matters. Clarence Thomas, super, super conservative justice who has become more and more conservative as his time on the court, as he spent more time on the court. Okay. And when he was going through his confirmation, if you all know, there was a little pube incident with a Coca-Cola. And pretty much at that point, he and his wife felt like the liberal left were attacking him because of who he was, not because of what he allegedly done. Okay. So you have that. And as you know, history has shown us there is a blatant attack between the left and the right amongst one another. And his wife, Miss Guinea Pig Thomas, has become one of the foremost voices of the radical right wing that is pushing back on the left, the Biden crime family, all of that stuff, like overturn the election, the Dems stole the election from us. And you can't look at that and say that is this man's wife and he's a Supreme Court justice and he does not have similar views or he's not influenced by her views. Okay. Like, I'm a guy who lives with my significant other and we don't share the same views on everything, but I have a fairly thorough understand. I have a thorough understanding on how she feels on most topics. And I feel like we influence each other's thoughts on things. I'm not saying that like I adopt your thoughts, you adopt my thoughts. But when you give me a perspective on something, I think that I take it in and I internalize it and I may add it to how I think about something, right? I say, oh, well, that makes sense, right? So you have that. Now we're getting to a point to where, we got a House committee who is investigating all of this, and the case could possibly go to the Supreme Court. And Clarence Thomas has not recused himself from any of those hearings. And what I would say is, how the hell can you as a judge sit and preside over a case that's involving your wife? Like, you're either going to do what's right and possibly end up divorced, or you're going to look out for your wife and show your corruption and weaken the power of the Supreme Court that's losing its power day in, day out, just because the courts become so politicized. And we thought that was the one branch of government that wasn't politicized, right? And then let's push this one forward, right? And we're going to talk about former President Trump and the situation that he's in along with this, because his communication has not been his communication has not been turned over. We got John Eastman, who is apparently his lawyer, but there's no signed documentation saying that that's his lawyer. And there's some conversations there that he's trying to hide. He tried to go attorney-client privilege. And because of that, there's been a whole civil lawsuit that's trying to get that stuff turned over. If we get that communication turned over, that then sets the stage to have former President Donald Trump, tried criminally. He could go to criminal. He could be tried as a fucking criminal for his actions that led to the January 6th insurrection on the Capitol building. And what scares me about that is because there is no precedent of a president of the United States, going to trial post-presidency, probably not pre-presidency anyway either, but like post-presidency, we've never had to do that for a president. And my question becomes, well, because that's not the precedent, do we not do that to this president who may have committed crimes? Because what scares me, and sometimes I get scared about stuff, is if we turn a blind eye to this, if we allow Donald Trump to become Teflon, what precedent are we setting for the future? Right? Is it because that, oh, he was the president, so because he was the president, we can't diminish the office because one person decided to diminish the office with their actions by being a fucking criminal? Okay, and then if you take this and you juxtapose it with what's going on in the Supreme Court, where Clarence Thomas and his radical right-wing wife guinea pig Thomas is doing what she's doing, we go, well, are we covering up corruption? Is this the insurrection correction, right? Are we not going to hold the parties accountable for what they did, the way they are attacking democracy? You know, we've talked about Russia, China as being the enemy of democracy, the Taliban as being the enemy of democracy, but it looks like right now we have terrorists inside our country that are attacking democracy from the very institutions that we decide uphold democracy. That's what it feels like. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what it feels like. But if we don't see due process here, if Justice Clarence Thomas does not recuse himself for the January 6th insurrection cases that come to the Supreme Court that his wife was involved in, people are going to yell corruption. If there is a preponderance of evidence in the civil case that says that Donald Trump and his attorney, John Eastman, were involved in this insurrection, and then that does not then go to criminal court, the people are going to believe that there is corruption, and that's going to further divide the have from the have-nots, because the have-nots are going to say that, well, if you got it, you can do whatever you want. Oh, well, he was president, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. And then, so what happens when we have somebody who's super corrupt, more corrupt than Trump, and more popular, and then they get into high office, and then they just run a racket, more legal rackets, not the legal rackets that we accept, like, insurance, church, what are my other legal rackets? I know insurance, church, college, huh?
I said pets being funny.
Oh yeah, the veterinarian, auto mechanics, all the people who just can just steal our money, and there's nothing behind why they're taking who.
There's really
no, they just create their own prices.
I can make a whole list.
Yeah, so now we're going to add the presidency to the other legal rackets, and this may sound like an extreme point of view, and it may be, but I feel like it's when it resonates. And let me talk to like my non-political analyst over here, my sweet sensation. So when I talk about all this nerdy political stuff, right, and the big picture from it is that you have a justice, on the Supreme Court, who's using his influence his influence allowed his wife to get the access that she received. And now his influence may impact whether or not she is held accountable for some things that she may have done that could be illegal.
Right.
And then we have a president who may have done some illegal stuff, but because he's the president, we're not going to go he was the president. We're not going to go after him for breaking the law. Like,
okay.
Like, how does that make you feel?
I am not a political person, but I'm not okay with it. Like, especially the way that the senator, whatever he Justice, Supreme Court, whatever the fuck he is. Sorry, I don't.
Supreme Court Justice.
I'm not into this political thing.
No. Just speak how you feel. Like, we know that.
The way that the husband is acting, saying that, like, I don't know, I'm not involved, I'm gonna sit here in my spa, I don't know anything about what she's doing. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Or they have a terrible relationship.
Oh yeah, but I hope it's not. Like, I rather wish a lie rather than a terrible relationship. But if it's a terrible relationship, then
that's a win for democracy.
Yeah, but Like, I would tell you my shit. You know I'm not political. You're political as shit. Like, you have your master's in that shit. And I'm like,
No, bachelor's.
bachelor's, sorry. Bachelor's in that shit. And I'm like, I'm just not political at all.
But no, the reason why I wanted to like have this conversation with you is because I think that political people talk to political people too much about their politics. They don't have conversations with people who don't really give a fuck about politics, don't totally understand politics. They just want to go to work, go home, pay, you know what I'm saying? Like have decent taxes, have nice roads to drive on and feel safe because they live in the greatest country this world has is fucking America.
Yes. But all that has to go with I get it, which most of the time, like people are actually on the same page as me. But I'm more so the person that like I don't know what you guys are talking about. So like you literally have to explain that shit to me where I'm like, what does this mean? What does this say?
Half of it means nothing to most of us, and that's the sad part about it because you have CNN, you have MSNBC, you have Fox News. They do a great job at what they do, but the problem is they inform people on things and they make it feel like it matters to their day-to-day life, and it doesn't. Just think about it. Think about it from the late Bush years, because you graduated high school in 08.
Yeah.
The late Bush years to now. We've gone through Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. How much has the president affected your day-to-day life? Now be honest.
Yeah, not really.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it frustrates my like month to month.
How come? like, why does it frustrate you? Like, what happens from the office that
Honestly,
really affects your day to day?
Being a person that's like not a part of the political, like the he say she say.
So yeah, it's just
like I don't sit here and listen to like the fucking broadcast of him like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and millions and billions of dollars. Like no, but like the major things that I hear about him is what frustrates me.
Right. So you're only being frustrated by people's commentary on what's going on, but the stuff that the actual policies and stuff, what's happening week in, week out, it doesn't really affect you.
Right. Because I don't understand it.
Not even that you don't understand it, because it just doesn't fucking affect you. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think that, oh, well, now we got so-and-so in office, it's going to change. Like, no, it's not. The people who are going to change, who going to have a day-to-day effect on you are your local politicians that you don't care about, who don't get paid nearly as much money, who aren't in bed with as many lobbies. And that's where the problem is in American politics. We've pulled civics out of school, so our kids are not as well versed on how our political system works. And then we have shit like this where news networks can shit on the president or praise the president for all the stuff that they're doing. And then you ask the people, well, how do you feel about it? Oh, man, I feel good. Well, why do you feel good? Well, because, you know, he's standing up for what he said. He's going to do what we needed. And you know, that's my guy. You have other people like, yeah, you know, I'm so happy that he's doing what we need. You know, like I voted for him for this policy and that policy and that policy, and it passed in Congress. And you know what? I just can't wait till it crosses his desk. And then I'm sitting here like, bro, y'all just signed the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill to make lynching a federal hate crime. Well, I'm sitting here like, well, lynching is murder, and murder is you know, that gives you a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? Like life and or death penalty. And so like why the fuck I even need this bullshit ass hate crime to even matter if you kill somebody on purpose? Like lock them up. Throw away the key. You know what I'm saying? If that's what the law is, you know what I'm saying? So like I look at it like, yeah, bro, a lot of this stuff that happens in politics, the stuff that we talk about is just stuff to give people peace of mind, but it doesn't really affect their day to day. And if I can better portray that to you people, that's what I want to do. Like, you know, it's all smoke and mirrors, bro.
Yeah. But I don't think it's like as far as like they don't understand it or whatever. It's more so like they don't relate to it.
Yeah, no.
So how can you make them relate to it?
You don't. You make it unknown and you catastrophize it, and that's how you capitalize on
Like
it.
the scare tactic.
Yes.
But how do you like oppose that?
Like me, I just talk about it like it's normal shit. I talk about it with you. Like, this is not gonna be the first political conversation we have. I think the first time we're gonna be sitting there like, well, I don't really understand. It's
Oh,
like, no.
no.
You understand it.
Mhm.
Because it's just take your common sense, apply it to the situation, and voila, that's the answer. But then when you throw politics behind it, well, I don't understand the laws. I don't understand what the Constitution. Like, I didn't read the Constitution. Like, well,
Right.
like,
So,
hey,
so talk about it a little bit more.
no,
So we
so
can understand it, because if I were to listen to you right now, I don't understand it.
not gonna do a breakdown on the Constitution today.
I'm not asking for the Constitution.
I'll say I ain't read that shit in a minute. Like,
No. I'm just saying, like, you asked me to like break it down, right?
So
to like the point where it makes sense for me to be like, nah, that's not right.
So what you have to do is you have to take the material and just put it in plain speak.
Okay.
Like, you just have to like talk about it in normal words,
Layman's
right?
term.
Huh?
Layman's term.
Yeah, layman's terms. And I think as a society, what we've done is we applaud people entirely too much for having like extensive vocabularies. Oh, he's smart. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, he knows a bunch of this human being knows a bunch of words. Good for him. Good for her. But guess what? If you're using words that the people you're speaking to don't understand, like, you've not conveyed your message appropriately.
Right.
And if you can't speak to people like at their level,
Right.
then you've done very little. And I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And we were talking about that because we were in a venue where the dude was using all these big ass words and saying all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, why are you saying all that? Because the people, a lot of the people you're talking to, they don't use that vocabulary. So
Right.
it doesn't resonate with them. And then I was told, well, no, when we come to these types of environments, we want to hear people talk like that to like show off, to like the show off their education, let us know that like they're educated. Like, hey, man.
Yeah, but talk about that, because that's a whole different.
I mean, here's the thing though, because like
do we not have time?
No, shit, nigga, I got time all motherfucking day. So like, here's the thing though, I got friends. I got friends in all different like walks of life, different education levels, right? And a lot of times the conversation that I have with my friends is very much in the tone that I'm having right now. It's not in podcast voice. It's not that, but like some of the most intelligent conversations I've had with some of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life are in a southern twang, and every other word is goddamn motherfucker, man. Hell no, I told that goddamn nigga, you know what I'm saying? We talking like this.
I know.
We're talking like this, but like if you look at the content of the conversation, it's up there. You know what I'm saying? And I sound ignorant as hell the way I'm saying it, but I'm doing it a little bit on purpose just to kind of like paint the picture of, man, it's not the gift wrapping, man. It's the fucking gift.
Exactly.
If y'all gonna get caught up on how somebody wraps some shit up, and y'all ain't gonna like, dang, man, that bow is crooked. That's some ugly ass wrapping paper. Yeah, but you got the keys to a brand new car that's paid off. What the fuck we talking about, bro? What the fuck we talking about, man? Like some of the best advice, some of the coolest people I done talked to, some of the most intelligent people I've ever met, some dope boys. Like when I was in college, met some real. They was cool at the time. I don't know how cool they are, but like I'm saying, dope boys. They live like dope boys. But now, like, yeah, you learn lessons from them. You get to talking to them, and then like sometimes they're flexible. Like, yeah, nigga, I read too.
Exactly, because it's a thing. Like, you just try to act like they don't know shit.
Yeah, and like
we don't know shit. I won't say they.
And then I'm and then it's sometimes it sucks when you one of these college educated motherfuckers and you get to like trying to talk about different things. People like, well, you went to college? Hell yeah, I went to college. Yes,
right.
And yeah, I went.
Right.
And I learned a lot.
Right.
But I didn't need college to tell me that I can read and comprehend something and then analyze it and then like present that to somebody else. I didn't need college for that.
For sure.
I just needed college to tell you that I could do that.
Right. Right.
And I'm in debt for it now still because of that.
Nah, but you're where you are because of it too.
Well, yes. Wouldn't be
So
sitting here and doing this, make
get a silver lining.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't shit on my college experience because I love my friends.
You've been talking about it to this day.
Fucking love college. I love it.
Yeah.
But the point is that speaking to people and sharing a message is so much more than what you have in your head. It's really how you say it. And like I talked about, like, yeah, don't let the gift wrapping distract you from the gift. And I mean that. But you got to understand that in order for your message to be received properly, you got to wrap it right.
Oh, for sure.
Like I know that there are settings where I can speak in my southern twang and my intellect's not being questioned. But I also know there are other settings where I got to turn on my work voice,
right,
in order to be properly received, because people say, "Hey, you talk like that," and I can't even understand what you're saying.
right, right.
Open your ears, cause I'm talking.
Right.
You know, so all I say is, man, like, whew, I don't even know how I got here. It's just like, just speak. No, you gotta speak your mind, man. Like, but you also have to know who you're talking to. And I'm a firm believer in speaking in the language that your audience can understand, because I've seen this post multiple times on Instagram, like, be you, they'll adjust. No, they won't. Because they're being them. They're expecting you to adjust.
Right.
So if you're trying to meet them halfway, if you're trying to find common ground with them, you got to find that common ground.
Nice.
You can't ask somebody to adjust to you and you won't adjust to them. Not unless you hold the leverage. But if you're meeting somebody in a 50-50 relationship, or you're meeting them at a place where they have leverage and you have none, or you have very little, you have to meet them where they are in order to get to where you're going. You know, like, one of the reasons why I pushed back so much on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is because Will Smith wants to be accepted by those people there, those people who run that Oscars, that Academy, right? And when you act like that, you set yourself back with those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he done it, and not to diminish any of our Black award shows, but if he done that, like, at a Black award show, like, niggas would have understood it. They wouldn't agree. He still would have got the same pushback, same stuff, like the same, like, verbal stuff. But as far as, like, the excommunication that he's getting now, I don't think that would have happened, because the people who put on the show understand that, like, hey, bro, if I feel like you talking crazy about my woman, I can slap the shit out you, like, on sight. That's culturally acceptable in amongst these people, even if this setting is not the correct setting to do it. You know what I mean? But they get it. Whereas, to these white people, they don't understand that shit. Like, oh my God, you slapped him because he made a joke about your wife? I sue. And that's the narrative that came out, you know? But that's because people come from different places in life. And the biggest thing, even going back to the Russell and Sierra thing where we started, is insurrection, correction. We all come from different places in life. And it's important for us to trust the institutions that are here to regulate that, so that we can meet at a happy medium. And right now, it seems like the institutions that we've put so much faith in, we're losing faith in those institutions. So I would say to the people, re-examine how you view these institutions, and re-examine how you view your decision makers, how you view those who give you information, and you hold them accountable for providing you valuable information and the right information that you need to make the best decisions. And you hold those decision makers accountable. And if they're not making the right decisions, you get them the hell out of office. You don't pick a team. You choose your values first. You know what I mean? And for those who are in those positions, who are running those institutions, I'm going to challenge you to support the people, because you are here to support the people. And you are not here to support the institution, because the institution is supposed to support the people. And if you're not willing to support the people and you're just going to stand on the institution, fuck you doing, man? Like, shit corny. It's whack. Like, that's not what you're here for. Remember why you did it. Don't just do it to stay there. Like, do it for the people who you're representing. You know what I mean? Hey, to my sweet sensation, this is your first episode. How did it feel?
Like scary in the beginning, but I'm good now.
Are you? Is this something you think you want to do again?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I had fun.
that's good. I think
Yeah.
as we like find different topics that really can get you going and let you show off your personality, I want to like kind of walk into this one. I ain't want to
Yeah.
like give you too much today. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have you over there so I can just look at you, give my little motivation or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Leave
And-
politics. No, because you said you wanted a different view of politics. So
Yeah.
we'll just we'll play with it.
No, we're just
We'll
gonna
play with it.
Nah, and that's the thing. We're just gonna play with it. We're gonna
Yeah.
eventually, because like some of the topics, like, and we talked about it like on part one, where like I just threw it out there and you could just like, you know what I'm saying, go.
Right.
Where with the politics and stuff, it's like, oh, I know he doesn't want me to sound political, but like I just don't know what I want to say because I don't want to sound dumb. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's like, no, bro, you just say some shit.
Yeah, I'm not political at all.
No,
And I'll probably say that a few more times in the political section of your shit, but we got this. We'll continue this journey.
because here's the thing though, like, you know how many times I come on here and I say stupid shit. And I be thinking I'm saying some good shit. It just be dumb as hell. And then you go back and watch, you be like, "Fuck was I thinking?" That's part of it.
Okay,
It's part of the
that's where
journey.
I think every word I say.
Don't like. I ain't gonna say
first.
I'm not gonna.
and we're gonna grow from here, right?
Right, absolutely. It's the
Okay.
first time we're doing it. We're gonna grow from here. So happy to have you on. It's your first time. You know what I'm saying? Look forward to doing this some more with you. I'll see you later tonight. Damn, goodness. It will not end, and I'm trying to be done in the broadcast.